another one for now.
This is Korazin.
Okay, so Korazin, like many other towns around the Sea of Galilee, was a small town. We're talking of 2,000 years ago, 2,200 years ago. That's the period, what we call Hellenistic period. Greek, then transition to Roman, but still the same culture. Jews are living in small, usually in the villages, separate villages. Don't forget, there are so many rules and prescriptions they have to do. So you want to have a synagogue, you want to live close to synagogue. On Shabbat days, you're not allowed to walk too far. You want to be in a walking distance from the synagogue. Then you must have maybe a kosher shop selling things that you want to eat. So that creates naturally Jewish quarters. Even today, in the world, the Jewish quarter, because the Jews want to be close to all the things that they need for their ritual and their regular life. Of course, if they can live in a village at that time, and they live in a village, so we find that a whole village only of Jews. And don't forget, especially when you are in minority, you'll be surprised. Talking of 2,000 years ago, population is Jewish, but not so in Galilee. In Galilee, the majority is Gentile. Remember the name? Galilee of the Gentiles. And it's not the name. Galilee is the region of the Gentiles versus Galilee of the Jews, which is Judea, the region of the Jews. Remember the term Galilee means a region. It's not the name of a place. It's not like when you say, I don't know, the Rockies. It's just, you would say, the mountains, like any mountains. Okay, in that case here, Galilee is a region, is the northern region of the land of Israel. So it has always been populated with foreign people. Remember, for Judah, they already started to consider Israel like not of ours. Remember, they had two temples with golden calves after the separation. So Galilee was never something to be proud about if you are Jew. And then in the Hellenistic period, there are more and more Greek-speaking people and Greek-influenced Hellenistic people. So they are called the Gentiles. Gens in Latin. You know what means gens? People. That's it. The people. They are the Jews, and they are the people. In Hebrew, goy means people. It's not how do you call that? It's not negative. It's just a fact. There are Jews and the rest. That's amazing how the Jews that are 0.0001% of the population say that the world is divided between Jews and the rest. Well, you understand this idea where you are so small, but you still think you are the chosen people, and that changes the whole vision. So the Jews are here in minority. There are sometimes in some places persecution and others, so it's good to be living in one small village. And take that into this context when we are talking about another Jew called Nathaniel. Have you heard of this man? Mm-hmm. He lives where? In Cana. And some came to tell him, look, the Messiah is coming. Come. And he say, what's his name? And they said, Jesus of Nazareth. And what is his answer? What good can come out of Nazareth? No, it has led to millions of speculation in the Christian theology that Nazareth was a bad place. Here, Why is it a bad place? Because later Jews will chase Jesus out of the synagogue. You see, that's the proof. But Nazareth is a horrible place to be. If you were a Jew, you would understand literally what Nathanael said. He said, how come the Messiah can come from Galilee? The Messiah comes from Bethlehem, from Judah, from the land of Judah, Bethlehem, Jerusalem. So when you are told that the Messiah is Jesus of Galilee, Jesus of Nazareth, it doesn't sound well. And you know what? Jesus understood that very well when he says, when he meets Nathanael, he says, you are a true Jew. You know where the Messiah should come from. And he will, of course, surely tell him that he's coming. He was born in Judea, he has an ancestry, and he's not from Galilee. Galilee is a bad place to be from. And so that takes this text into its context. So Jews are living in separate villages, living according to their rules, and Jesus is teaching between these communities. Jesus is not teaching the Gentiles. Not because he hates them, or just they don't know what he's talking about. Can you come to someone who worships Zeus and Diane and all these things, and you tell them about the Messiah? What is Messiah? It's a Hebrew word. It means anointed. Anointed? Do you anoint people? You throw oil on people. Is he a boxer? So you anoint his body. And son of whom? Son of God. He's son of Jupiter. No, the real God. Who is the real? You understand? Start a discussion with a Gentile who has never read the Bible. I will tell you, the Jews have not read the Bible too, because there were not copies like that.
Right.
So go to a Gentile and try to tell him about the Messiah. You will have to start a story that will. Where do you start it? With the creation of the world. So where is Jupiter in the story? You cannot talk to Gentiles. They cannot understand you. So Jesus is teaching among the Jewish villages, and of course he expects to be heard, to be accepted. Some places they do, some they don't. And then the rest is history. Maybe you are going to talk about the curse, about Korazin in the context of the New Testament. We are just here now by the synagogue is just there. Not far from the synagogue is this building. Is actually a pool. Have you ever heard of the word mikvah?
Yes.
Mikvah, it's a pool. A place where the water stays. The mikvah here is well preserved. You have to purify yourself. Go into the water. Yesterday we heard of the guy who went, Rabbi Abu Hav, 26 times before he wrote the name of God. And immersing yourself in the mikvah, you have to go in the mikvah in a situation where you immerse totally. You don't crouch. That way it has to be deep enough, the height of a human being. You have to go, if the idea is if you crouch, that means some part of your skin will not touch the water. So you have to go standing and naked, of course. All the way there. If you are a woman and you have tied hair, you have to untie the hair. So you go straight as you are born, if you want, into the water and out. I think normally today you immerse your head 7 times when you're in the water.
You can do it. You can do it 1, 3, 6, 7, 8. Great variety.
Exactly. So, but since I've never been in a mikvah myself, so I cannot tell you exactly what goes on there.
Well, we can change that today.
I went many times to
Plenty
the
of water.
I went many times to the mikvah when I was younger, and they never allowed me to go in. They say I'm Jewish. They said yes, but it is a mikvah of the women.
Well, usually they have separate ones, so you're going to the wrong one.
But that was the most interesting.
Or you have in the morning it's for men, at night it's for women.
Exactly, yes. So that's the rules for some, and I think also different communities have different rules for the mikvah. I know that when the chief rabbi of some community, somebody very important, who comes to visit his people, and he wants to stay a weekend with them. That's the greatest honor. So they allow him to go to the mikvah first. That happens in Mea Shearim today in Jerusalem. They allow him to go into the mikvah by himself. First, of course, honor. And then after that, everybody wants to be the first one after him. His body has touched the water. They want to be there. And there happens something that never happens usually. Jews go to the mikvah voluntarily and on their own. That's the major difference with, we say, with Christians are going to the baptism and they are baptized. Somebody is doing that for them. They don't baptize themselves. The Jews, they do it. And but there's the case, I'd say that case because when the rabbi arrives and everybody wants to go there, there's a big crowd and Shabbat is coming and you have to finish quickly. So at this moment, when they see the line is too long, two strong men come into and they help the people in the water and out, in and out to make it faster. That's the only case of baptism for Jews. It's because of emergency, Shabbat. And that connects to the fact of the baptism. Baptism, and at the time of John the Baptist, baptizing the people to make it faster because the time is coming. There's emergency, do it fast. And that probably started the immersion by other people. Do it fast, quick, and allow the other people. Don't know if the reason, but that's the only case where Jews are baptized. That means helped into the water and out quickly. Again, because of the emergency of time. So that's how it goes. Mikveh separate men and women. Usually private. I mean, when a naked man is inside, you don't want another one to go in. So you have to wait. That takes time. We are going to see in archaeological excavation some mikvehs that are big with entrance and exit. That means you can make a line people going in and going on. That in the area of the temple in Jerusalem or the places that attract a lot of people, you have big these mikvehs that are made for the public. But normally today in synagogues and everywhere close to synagogues, they are simple like that. Notice one last thing before teaching. They have a roof. In this country where there's so little wood, the stone are used for beams. Can you see that? And you have to find some volcanic pieces of stone big enough, but on the other side if they are too big, what happens? They will break. That means the size of the biggest stone dictates the width of a building. You understand what I mean? So here's an example. These are stones. Remember the volcanic lava solidifies and creates like something like columns. Maybe you have seen that. So these columns can be taken away because when it solidifies, it retracts a little and gives some columns that are octagonal or hexagonal or heptagonal, and this one can be easily separated and then used that way. And because of that, when it rains, the water fills the pool, and because of the shade, it doesn't evaporate. You can see there's water inside now. Okay.